how to set financial goals, how to get started. And let me share with you, when I got started at the time, it was never really something that I want to plan to do it, because at that time I was working as an employee, so I get a salary, I pay for my bills, pay for my housing loan. Nothing really planned about financial goals until actually I was working in Australia, and at that time was a 2 years contract. And the colleagues that I was working with, they were already working in the company like 35 years, and they're from America. And something I found was not comfortable for me. They were living from paycheck to paycheck. They never planned what happened after they retire. And one of the colleagues was next to me, this guy from Malaysia by the name of TC Kong. He's a corporate high flyer. He was actually working very well with the company. And to me, as a corporate high flyer at that time, I was earning six-figure income. I was given a home, a house to stay in North Sydney, overlooking the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Life was fantastic, only 11 minutes walk for me to the office. And before my contract was over, something happened. My boss told me that I may not get a position back in Singapore. I could be made redundant. And that was a time then I only started to think about financial planning. Plan how to pay off my house, which was actually a 25 years loan for my house, and to take care of my children college education, my child college education. I only got one daughter. And that was how I looked like when I was 39 years old. Okay? And that was when I found this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad and written by a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. And he shared with me something that was very interesting. That instead of just accumulating wealth to pay for retirement, he shared with me a concept that what if you are able to allow money to work for me and be able to pay me month after month, passive income month after month. And that was where I got really excited. It actually helped me to identify a problem that I needed to find a solution. That book didn't give me a solution. So I decided to search how to actually find a solution for it. So we'll talk about the solution in a moment. So when you want to create financial success, financial goal, there are 4 critical elements to think about. 4 critical elements. If you miss out any of these 4, then it won't work. Okay, so I'm going to share with you my personal experience. The first critical element is to ask the question, what exactly do you want? So let me give you an example. Here are 2 of my clients, 2 of my students that I work with. One of them is by the name called Charlotte. Charlotte, mid-25, 24, 25 years old. And she always wanted to actually buy a home for the family in Malaysia. 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 ringgit. Well, she's just started working, how she's going to buy the home for the family. And most of the time people will do is just pay by installment, get a bank loan 90% and pay for 30, 35 years. That's normal situation and based on the job, right? That's what you do. However, what Charlotte did was this. She learned a skill set that over a period of 8 months allows her to take a small amount of money to generate an extra $100,000 US dollars. US dollar means like $400,000 over a period of 8 months. She learns a skill set to be able to do that. Now, and that was how she did it. She knew that she wanted to generate the kind of money, and then she figured out from her training, allow her to generate $100,000 US in a period of 8 months. Is that cool? And with that skill set, she continued to do it again and again. Another person I want to share with you is this guy called Daniel. Daniel, a Malaysian, and before he joined us, he has 25 years or 30 years housing loan, loan for the car, and also even the brother to college education. And he needed to generate extra income. So she learned a skill set from us, and she started to be able to generate money from that, in addition to his salary income. Is that cool? So as an example, so the second most important question is, why do you want to do it? What do you want to generate? Like for example, buy the house. And why do you want to do it so important? Those are 2 important things. Okay, so for Charlotte, her wife was to be able to buy a home for the parent. That was a why. What is she going to do? She want to generate X dollar amount of money. Same as Daniel Fu. You want to pay off the loan, that was a why. But how? You want to generate extra money for it. Okay, so two things. So the third element is when do you want to do it? Now this is a bit difficult to answer because a lot of people set short-term goal like 30 days, want to lose weight, or 1 year, want to get this X amount of money. Now, I learned a very important lesson about answering this when. Because why? A lot of people, many people underestimate or overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year. Let me say again. Many people overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, but underestimate what they can achieve in a decade, in 10 years. So when you want to do this planning, not just plan for 1 year, take a longer term view. And with a longer term view, a lot of things can happen. So that you don't give up so soon. That if it doesn't get out into 1 year, what about second year, third year? Think about if it's a 10 years things, what can you do? Okay, what can you do? Think it's a longer term horizon. Think it's a long term that way. So that it's not like every year set up New Year resolution. Is that cool? Okay. Now then the fourth thing is how do you do it? Now this is the question that we said. Now I have all these goals, how am I going to do it? Do the first thing first. You must know what do you want. Why do you want to do it? When do you do it? Set it a long term thing. Okay. And then how do you do it is this one. I got this saying. The how is not for now, okay? The how is not for now. But having said that, I'm going to share you some concept that you can think about it, okay? One of these concepts is this one. It's about this using money, small amount of money that you can save and put aside. And if you are using compounding interest, then the way I'm going to share with you is so simple that I've checked it all around. A lot of people cannot explain this, so I'll make it simple for you. What if you can set up only $5,000 a month? Okay, whatever your currency you want, $5,000 a year. Set aside $5,000 a year. And if you most people can only generate maybe 1 or 2% interest put in the bank. But what if you can be able to generate a return like 5% a year? 5% a year, or 15% a year, or 25% a year, okay? So rate of return at 5%, rate of return of 15%, rate of return of 25%. So there's only one part of the equation. Let's say you look at a 10 years vision. 10 years vision. And look at 10 years vision at 5% a year, putting $5,000 a year that you save will generate at the end of 10 years, $66,000. $66,000. But if your rate of return is 15% over a 10-year period, your return goes up to $117,000. That's like double, right? But if you know how to generate 25% return a year over a 10 years period, that's already $208,000. Is that cool? Cool. Now, what if you're looking at the 20 years horizon? 20 years horizon, putting $5,000 a year, same thing, $5,000 a year that you save, but your return is only 5%. Your 5% over 20 years is $173,000. But if you are able to generate 15% return, that comes up to $589,000. But if you have touched 25% over a 20-year period, that's $2.1 million. Is that cool? $2.1 million over 20 years at 25% by saving $5,000 a year. Is that cool? Now, let's break down into this. Now, this is a concept called passive income. Passive income meaning that you keep your principal as it is, but allows the return to pay for your expenses. So let's say over 20 years and you save able to generate $173,000. Don't take out the principal, but at 5% on a year-to-year basis, that will give you $8,600. Nothing exciting, right? Or maybe $8,600 per year. But at 15% per year, and your capital is $589,000, that will give you $88,000 a year. Maybe something, $88,000. But at 25% and your capital is $2.1 million, that will give you every year $535,000. $535,000. Can you live with $535,000 a year? Okay, capital still intact. That is the power of compounding. If you look at over a longer period, like 20 years, knowing how to generate your return and time. Is that good? Yeah, so something for you to think of. And if you're able to have that kind of capital eventually, then you keep that capital and just live on the interest. Cool? And learn about doing that. Now, one of the books that actually blew my mind about learning this process is this book called Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason, written back in 1920s. And two very important life lessons I learned from that book. There are probably about 6 or 8, but two very important was this. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first means whatever salary that you have, keep in like 10%, push it one side and put it as an automatic saving, put it to yourself. Even if you don't money right now, $1,000 income, 10%, $100, just put it aside to save. Get the momentum going. Don't worry about how first, know what to do, why is it want to do, start the process simply first, okay? And then learn the skill set about allowing money to work for you, because this concept is this. Money, I regard money as my servant, I'm the master. So money should work for me, not the other way around. And if we are working hard for money, then which means that money is the master, we are the servant. That's why we work for money. Don't do that. Regard money as our servant so that it works for you, for us. Is that cool? So allowing money to work for me. So let me just recap here. I want to share with you 4 critical elements when you want to set your financial goal. Think about what is it? Why is it? When do you want it? How do it? Now, because why people don't achieve certain financial goals? Because the why is not strong enough. The why is not strong enough, that's why you cannot achieve the what. It's very simple. Right? And don't be greedy to set so many of them. What is the top 3? Top 3 financial goal you want to achieve. If it's not 1 year, what about 10 years? Look into it and have a plan to work it on a week-to-week basis. It's very simple, okay? And look at it. Think about it long term. I hope this training session helps. Okay? If you like it, subscribe to our YouTube video. Click the link below. I will see you in the next training session. Go for it.